What's up, my comic comrades? If you guys have been watching Variant for any reasonable manner of time, you know I have a deep love for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I've said it before, but I'll say it again for new viewers. There was a good 2 or 3 years of my childhood where I liked the Power Rangers more than any DC or Marvel character. So luckily for me, the new Power Ranger comics that Boom Studios have been pumping out over the last several years have been amazing. In any case, one of the coolest things that the Boom Studios Power Rangers comic has given us is the awesome character Lord Drakkon, who is essentially an evil alternate universe version of Tommy Oliver. But today, we're gonna see who takes his place as the new Lord Drakkon. However, before we get to that, we do want to announce that this Saturday, August 8th, at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be doing a live unboxing and review of 2 awesome new statues from DC Direct on the Variant Facebook page. Specifically, we'll be opening the Designer Series Harley Quinn statue, which looks phenomenal, and this amazing Superman vs. Darkseid statue. Both look incredible, and I cannot wait to take a look at them with all of you. So again, come join us and chat it up this Saturday, August 8th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Variant Facebook page. You can of course find the link for the Variant Facebook page in the description. But now, let's talk some Lord Drakkon. Before we get into the Ranger Slayer and how she becomes the new Lord Drakkon, let me give you guys a bit more of Lord Drakkon's backstory. As I mentioned, Lord Drakkon is an evil Tommy Oliver from an alternate universe and timeline. Well, in that timeline, we see Jason, the Red Ranger, destroy the Sword of Darkness, which was putting Tommy, the Green Ranger, under Rita's mind control. But once the Sword of Darkness was destroyed, Tommy fled confused and ultimately stayed on the side of evil, fighting alongside Rita. And in the coming years, working side by side with Rita, they liberated the world, so to speak, which caused cities to burn and leaders to give in. It got so bad, the more cities fell under her control, the more people normalized her rule and began to embrace it. And as people started to support her, her power grew. But Zordon had one final hope to defeat Rita. He would harness all the good left in the world and then create a Ranger stronger than any before him, the White Ranger. And he would give this title to Jason, the Red Ranger. Meanwhile, Rangers new and old were fighting Rita's forces. This forced Zordon to expedite the creation of the White Ranger, so while Jason was being turned into the White Ranger, Tommy broke into the command center, then killed Jason and took the White Ranger power for himself. We then see Tommy emerge holding Jason's shattered helmet, but we also see that the White Ranger power merged with his Green Ranger power, creating Lord Drakkon. It's super crazy that in this timeline, Tommy kills Jason. That's all kinds of nuts. Again, that's just a very brief summary of the events leading to the reveal of the new Lord Drakkon. But if you're looking for even more details on the character's backstory, we got you covered with the origin of Lord Drakkon right here. Anyway, let's see how the Ranger Slayer, aka Kimberly Hart from the world of the Coinless, became Lord Drakkon. For those of you wondering, the world of the Coinless is Lord Drakkon's homeworld / timeline, and I'll tell you why it's referred to that in a second. With that said, let's pick up where I left off earlier when Tommy became Lord Drakkon. Once Tommy became Drakkon, it ultimately led to the fall of the Power Rangers, which was a massive battle that saw the deaths of Jason the Red Ranger, which I already mentioned, but also Billy the Blue Ranger, and of course, this world's version of Zordon. After this, Drakkon took all the power coins for himself from the Rangers. Now powerless, Trini the Yellow Ranger, Zach the Black Ranger, and Kimberly the Pink Ranger formed a resistance movement known as the Coinless. Anyway, while doing a recon mission, Kimberly found herself in a one-on-one battle with Lord Drakkon and his forces. While she was able to hold her own for a little bit, Drakkon ultimately put her under a mind control spell that was very similar to the one Rita used on him when he was the Green Ranger. Now remember earlier when I said Drakkon took all the Power Rangers power coins? Well, he would then use them to power his army or sentries, like his pterodactyl sentries, who are a special class of soldiers who help enforce Lord Drakkon's rule. Now even though the pterodactyl power coin was being used to power the pterodactyl sentries, Drakkon took it from them and gave it back to Kimberly. He even gave her a new evil energy bow of darkness. Thus the Ranger Slayer was born, and she would act as Lord Drakkon's right hand, second only to Drakkon himself. Now at this point you may be saying Ranger Slayer is second in command and Drakkon is first. What happened to Rita? Well, I guess I should have mentioned it earlier, but Drakkon quickly realized she was holding him back, so he stabbed Rita to death with his dragon dagger. Anyway, lots of stuff happens after this, but all you really need to know is during the Shattered Grid storyline, the main continuity Kimberly managed to shatter the Ranger Slayer's bow of darkness, thus breaking Drakkon's hold on her, meaning she's good once again. Then after a bunch of stuff involving all sorts of other Power Rangers and massive battles, the necessary evil story arc comes to a close. Then most recently, we were given the Ranger Slayer one-shot, where we see that after the necessary evil event, Kimberly, aka Ranger Slayer, finally returns to her home world, which of course is the world of the Coinless. And she comes back to her home world to find out there's literally Power Ranger zombies running around. Ultimately, she finds Trini and Zach and tries to apologize for all the bad she did while working for Drakken. They're reluctant at first, but Bulk, yes, the same Bulk from Bulk and Skull, he's part of the Resistance now, sticks up for her saying, give her a chance. Isn't that what we're all about? Plus, she was under Drakken's mind control. It's not like she chose to fight for him on her own. So they ultimately forgive her and they all start working together to find out what the hell is going on with all these zombie Power Rangers. Because the zombie Power Rangers have no loyalty. They're attacking both the Ranger Resistance and Drakken's forces. This eventually leads Kimberly and the rest of the Resistance to the command center, as that's apparently the source of all the zombies. Kimberly then lets Bulk pilot her Gravezord to break into the command center, as it's heavily guarded by Lord Drakken's sentries. If you're not aware of what the Gravezord is, it's the Ranger Slayer's Kit Bash Zord. It's made from the remains of several destroyed Zords, such as the Thunder Megazord, the White Tiger Zord, and the Shuttle Zord. Anyway, the Gravezord's distraction allows Trini and Zack to enter the command center to see what the heck is going on. But Zack and Trini are greeted by a resurrected, scary but awesome looking Rita Repulsa. We find out that Trini actually brought her back to life with one of Rita's old conjuring spells. She did this because Zordon said long ago there was some good in Rita. So Trini thought if she brought Rita back to life to see the world Drakken created after killing her, she would be on the side of good. But guess what? Trini was wrong. Rita is in fact responsible for all the zombie Power Rangers and is using them to destroy everyone on Earth to reshape the world as she sees fit. Then after a little back and forth with Rita, she says, "Oh, how I've missed saying this. Make my monster grow," as we see a giant Goldar zombie come out of the ground. But the Gravezord starts fighting him off, and though it gets destroyed in the process, the Rangers are able to escape. Long story short, the Ranger Resistance is forced to ally with Drakken's forces led by Commander Scorpina because they both have a common threat. We then get an awesome battle with Drakken's forces and the Ranger Resistance against Rita and her zombie army. One that involves the newly created Lord Zed Dragonzord hybrid, which was made by Finster 5 of Drakken's forces. And we see it square off with zombie Goldar, and it's so ridiculously awesome. In the end, Scorpina was able to trick and distract Rita long enough to allow Trini to come in from behind and destroy Rita's staff, killing her once again. Towards the end of the issue, it's very apparent that Scorpina is losing the trust of Drakken's forces, as they are only loyal to Drakken, but of course, he's gone now. Bulk then speaks up and says, "Look, I know this is above my pay grade and all, but if you're looking for the next Drakken, why not use the Ranger Slayer?" Finster 5 then tells Scorpina, "Commander, a temporary ceasefire with the coinless could be to our advantage. Placing her on the throne would keep the troops in line while we strategize." So that's exactly what they do, even though Kimberly doesn't want to be the new Lord Drakken, but she agrees to it either way. Scorpina then says to Finster 5, "But if we are to pretend that she is the new Lord Drakken, she will need something a bit more regal." And Finster says, "Actually, now that you mention it, I may be able to help you with that." And on the last page of the issue, we see Ranger Slayer, now the new Lord Drakken, sitting on the throne saying, "Right now, we all start over, because this is our home, and together we must fight to protect it. Today is a new beginning, as Drakken's forces and the Resistance all kneel before her." And that, my friends, is how we got the new Lord Drakken. I've been a massive fan of Ranger Slayer for a while now, and it only makes sense for her to be the new Lord Drakken, as she was the original Lord Drakken's right hand. I'm just curious to see where it goes from here, because Scorpina is definitely not happy about this. She sees Ranger Slayer as a placeholder, while her and Finster 5 figure out how to control Drakken's army for themselves. Also, I don't want to brag, but I totally called what was going to happen back in March in this Ranger Slayer one-shot. Check it out. She's getting a one-shot in June, and I have a feeling that's because something big is gonna happen with her. I personally think she's gonna become the new Lord Drakken in that issue. All I'm saying is, I need to play the lotto. But let us know in the comments section if you've been enjoying Boom Studios Power Rangers comics, and if you like that Ranger Slayer is the new Lord Drakken. First up for the week of August 5th, we have Fantastic Four issue 22. The events of Empire threaten all life on Earth and the future balance of power throughout the cosmos. And the secret mission the Fantastic Four have placed in Val and Franklin's hands requires some big league help. Now we have Deceased Dead Planet issue 2. The Justice League is trapped on Earth, and they discovered that life still survives on this dead planet. But with billions still infected roaming the surface, death lies around every corner. Here we have Empire issue 4. This issue of Empire promises a shocking ending you never expected. Let's see if that turns out to be true. And finally, we have Batman issue 96. Reeling from the effects of the worst Joker toxin ever, Batman is on the run through Gotham City, pursued by the dark shadows and voices that haunt his past and his present. But just like that, that brings today's episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, check out this one right here. And if you like our content and our channel, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But I'll see your lovely faces next time when I talk about all things comics.